All them dots. Chiki-sama! There's a voice calling me. Please remain strong. I shall bring you something to drink. I sense the presence receding. Footsteps. It makes me realize that it's morning now. I open my eyes. There isn't anyone else in my room. I hear something ragged. What is that noise? Speaking, I realize that it was my own breathing. Huh? My body is drenched in sweat. The tiredness suffocates me, as if I just ran a long marathon. My head hurts, because I saw that hideous dream. Yumizuka painted with blood, and I, staring at her in envy. A complete nightmare. There's something wrong. I managed to say this much, still breathing hard. Last night's dream still lingers in my head. It really was a horrific nightmare. I was just blanked out in my dream, as if I couldn't rouse myself from the nightmare if I tried. Shiki-sama! And then, Hisui rushes into my room. Hisui, did something happen? You didn't even knock. Are you awake, Shiki-sama? Yeah, I just got up. Good morning, Hisui. Thanks for coming to wake me. Yes. Good morning. Returning my gentle greeting apologetically, Hisui approaches the bed. I have brought you something to drink. You do not appear well, so please drink it. Looking at it, it seems like she brought a drink on a silver tray like she did yesterday. I don't really feel bad or anything. I slept soundly and I feel refreshed. But... Hisui stares at me. You seemed to be in a very poor state earlier. Shiki-sama, does the scar on your chest not hurt? No, not really. Well, it may be because of that terrible dream. I was really having quite a nightmare. I feel dizzy just remembering it. Hisui looks intently at my face. I see. Oh, I'm sorry. I see. Hisui, you woke me up. Yes, I'm deeply sorry. What are you saying? Thanks, Hisui. You really helped me a lot. I really do mean that from my heart. If she hadn't woken me, I might still be trapped inside that awful nightmare. I'll change and go to the dining room. Thanks for everything. And for giving me this drink. Sorry about that. No, you do not need to apologize. I will wait for you in the sitting room. Hisui silently leaves the room. To be honest, I really am quite moved. I thought she was truly without emotions, but she may just be poor at expressing them. She was so distressed over me having a nightmare, it makes me smile imagining her in such a hurry. Maybe it isn't that hard to see Hisui smile. Well, time to get up. I throw off the sheets and get up. In that instant, pain explodes through my body. It's from a much deeper place, aching with my heartbeat. Clenching the sheets, I somehow weather the pain. It fades away. There's nothing lingering. Perhaps just a sudden fit. Chest wound. I bring my hand over my chest. There's a scar there. And even though it's healed, at times it still hurts like it did just now. The doctor said the physical wound is healed, but that the mind must be replaying the pain over and over again. Usually, The scar begins throbbing after I see a traffic accident or a dead body. The image of blood or death must make me recall the accident 8 years ago. Because of last night, I guess. The red back alley. And the normal, smiling face of Yumizuka. My chest hurts. The image of Yumizuka doesn't leave my mind. But I don't know what I should do. What I can do. I can only live my everyday life. Shit. Swearing at myself, I roll out of bed. After changing out of my pajamas and into my school uniform, I head to the sitting room. Akiha and Hisui are in the sitting room. Kohaku-san is probably in the kitchen cooking my breakfast. Good morning, Ni-san! Sitting on the sofa, Akiha greets me and looks at my expression. Good morning, Akiha. Returning her greeting, I head to the dining room. There really isn't that much time for me to stay and chat with Akiha, and I don't really feel like talking to anyone at all. Ni-san, I would like to speak with you a little. Is that alright? That's fine, but please make it short since I don't have much time. I sit on the sofa across from her. Then I will get straight to the point. Ni-san, where did you go last night? Akiha looks directly at me as she asks. Kohaku-san probably did keep it a secret, but I guess it wasn't possible to hide being gone for 2 hours. Nothing. Just went for a walk in town. I'm sorry for getting back late, but it's no big deal. Since I don't want to lie to Akiha, I answer as evasively as possible. Just walking the streets is something. You're still a minor, so please do not wander out late at night. Even if you weren't, there have been a lot of disturbances going on. Oh. Disturbances. The killer skulking around town at night. Why? Why didn't I realize it? The killer that murders people and drinks their blood. That phrase perfectly matches Yumizuka's behavior yesterday. I shouldn't have to say this, but you shouldn't strain your body. If you come back with an exhausted face like last night's again, I'll get worried. If you're in trouble, please tell me. I may not be able to do much, but if you could... I don't want to think about it, but... Yumizuka. Yumizuka could be the killer terrorizing the town. Ni-san? Are you listening to me? Yeah. I'm listening. I hear Akiha's voice, but the only thing in my mind is the image of Yumizuka from yesterday. Akiha glares at me. So, you can't talk about your situation, Ni-san? Yeah. It's got nothing to do with you, Akiha. Right now, I can only think of Yumizuka. I want to be alone, and so I said that. You're going to keep going your own way. Is that what you're saying, Ni-san? I understand. Well, please, feel free. If that's what you want, Ni-san, I'll do the same. Akiha stands and walks out to the lobby. Shiki-sama, is this acceptable? Acceptable? Is what acceptable? I believe Akiha-sama is deeply concerned about you, Shiki-sama. But I think it is difficult for her since she does not often talk about her feelings. I know, but right now my head's full, and I can't. I do feel sorry. Hisui falls silent. Shiki-san, breakfast! Kohaku-san's voice can be heard from the dining room. I stand up and head towards it. Shiki-sama, around what time will you be returning today? Well, since today's Saturday, no. I'll probably be in the evening. There's something I want to look for. I understand. Please take care until then. She bows deeply. After Hisui sees me off, I leave the mansion. There was no point in coming to school. Yumizuka Satsuki was treated as an absentee, and no one seemed to be the slightest bit concerned about her. Time passed without my realizing it. Perhaps Arihiko or Seal Senpai came by sometime, but I don't really remember. Noon comes, and school ends. I have no idea. But I still have to look for Yumizuka. The sun sets. Even after running everywhere in town, there's no sign of Yumizuka Satsuki anywhere. Gah. I bite my lip angrily. But it's not anger over not finding her. 2 days ago, I'm mad at myself for promising such a thing in the first place. Help me when I'm in a pinch, okay? Yumizuka said that, and I answered lightheartedly. I would help as much as I could. Such an irresponsible answer. There's really nothing I can do. She said it hurt. I can't even find Yumizuka, painfully suffering in the cold darkness. The sun is setting. I don't want to admit it, but maybe I can only find Yumizuka after nightfall. I told Hisui I'd be back in the evening. Perhaps it's too early. I'll go back to the mansion and calmly think this through. This is all the same. Yup, but this is the last route, so I'm not skipping anything. Welcome home, Shiki-sama. Hisui was waiting in the lobby. I'm back. Hisui, where's Akiha? Akiha-sama has not returned yet. Since she shall be late, we are to have supper first. I see. I'll be resting in my room until dinner, so I'll head to the dining room when it's time. Yes. Please rest until I call you. You know, I'm starting to second guess that policy, actually. 'Cause... let me just check something real quick. Let me just check something real quick. Look, I can't answer. Go and help. Go see. Go and look. I can't answer. I have a feeling that the Yumizuka saga in this one is like precisely the exact same. From what I can tell. Just skip till the party. The party was after Yumizuka, right? As far as everything's the same until the dinner party. Yeah, the party's after Yumizuka's death. Yeah, it is. Okay. Alright. So... yeah, Shiki's still sweating about Yumizuka, goes to find her. They have a conversation. She asks him straight up, like, do you like me? And he's like, I can't answer because, like, you're a fucking vampire and that's weird. That's a weird question to ask Yumizuka. And then she's like, you know what? what if you were also a vampire? What then, shithead? And then he was like, what if I have superpowers? Fuck you. And then he kills her, and she's like, oh shit, and then she dies. Oh, also, she bit Shiki and tried to turn him into a vampire, and then he cut the line of the goo that was going to turn him into a vampire using his special powers, and then Yumizuka was like, that's stupid. And Shiki was like, you're stupid, and then he killed her. And that's what happened. Okay. Is this not all the same? Wait, fuck. Sleep and keep me company. She may still be resenting my words because he sounds very dissatisfied. Time passed without either speaking. Someone has been oculars and breath, stops her shoulders. Wait. Is this the same as the... What do you call it? Is this the same as the Akiha route? I'm assuming it is. Okay, he's like... Alright, that was a fast chapter. Okay, So... Does he go to school? Oh, no, yesterday was Saturday, right? So he's off from school. That's why they end up having the party. Okay. So... Shiki's all sad because he had to kill Yumizuka. And a bunch of conversations happen. They about something related. Okay. And they have conversations about him, like how he sleeps or whatever. Waking up sooner, seeing Aki's still here. She's not. So it's more stuff about Akiha. Okay, yeah, this conversation we did already. Okay, this I believe is where they were. I think it was it Kohaku's idea? It was Kohaku's idea to pitch the party. All right, so this is like the same conversation from before. He's like, "What the fuck?" Da 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 da. And they're talking about his weird sleeping habit. And how, like, he's like a statue when he's asleep, and he doesn't want to wake him up. And then... Yeah, and then she pitches the party, and then I think I end up... I think I get a choice, don't I? Oh, no, I don't. Okay, so he's just like, yeah, let's do a party, or whatever. So they're getting ready. And then it's like, who should I help? And last time we helped Hisui because it was Hisui's route. But this time we're going to go help Kohaku because it's Kohaku's route. That's how this works. Okay. Alright. New stuff. Let's go. I don't know what I was thinking. Not skipping everything. Okay. To be honest, Kohaku-san has the hardest job because she has to prepare for the feast for the four of us. I don't think I can be that much help in cooking, but I'll go see Kohaku-san. The kitchen has already become a battlefield. On each counter there is a mountain of ingredients, and I get the urge to turn around and go back as soon as I enter. Shiki-san, is there anything I can do for you? Kohaku-san peeks her head through. No. I was thinking maybe I could help or something. But it seems like I've entered a world where I shouldn't be. Oh, that really helps! To tell the truth, I was thinking of going to ask you for some help. Really? But I don't really have any cooking skills, so I'm unsure if I can even help Kohaku-san. Not at all. It's something anyone can do. Come on, please lend me a hand. Kohaku-san takes my hand and pulls me with her. Not really understanding what's going on, I end up helping Kohaku-san. After calming down a bit, I realize that the kitchen is actually pretty small for a mansion so large. They probably had a much bigger galley when there were many people living in the mansion, but with just Akiha, Hisui, Kohaku-san, and I, they had a smaller kitchen prepared. Here, please wash your hands and use this apron. I don't know whose tastes this is a reflection of, but she hands me an apron that says quiet, unsociable person on it. I'll start you off with a simple task, Shiki-san. When it's all done, I have another task just for you. Kohaku-san is in a good mood. First, I have to take the shells off of the, I have to take the shells off of all these shrimp. I think we did this scene already, actually. Maybe it's different, I don't know. Wick, wick, wick. The sound of a knife lightly hitting the cutting board. Ugh. Oh, I thought that was... Maybe he cut him... Okay, sorry. Kohaku-san's humming fills the kitchen. She must be immersed in cooking because she doesn't say much. As for me, I actually enjoy peeling the shrimp, and keep on peeling the skin. You know, this really brings back memories. Before the incident and before I left the mansion, I played like this several times with Kohaku-san and Akiha. We were young then, and we didn't even think about how we were of the opposite gender. We were just in this spacious mansion, and all we knew was the continuous fun of every day. We played around so much we forgot about all the things that bothered us before. Or maybe in order to forget the bothersome past, we tried to pass our days with as much fun as possible. Shiki-san, you really have taken a liking to peeling those shrimp, haven't you? No, not really. Why do you ask? Because you look like you're having so much fun. You know, Hisui-chan, her eyebrows would always be so scrunched up by the time she gets done. Really? I'm surprised. She looks like the type that would do it without complaint. Yeah, for some reason, Hisui-chan is poor at cooking. But she really is great at cleaning and arranging things. Is that so? I always felt that both you and Hisui could do anything. If that was true, I'd be very happy. Both Hisui-chan and I are merely normal, so we have our faults too. Hisui-chan's sense of taste is a little strange, so even when she makes things that she thinks are delicious for Akiha-sama or I, it tastes really strange. I see. So that's why Hisui doesn't cook. Hisui's sense of taste is a little odd. Kohaku-san, what's her fault, I wonder? Well, come to think of it, you and Hisui are different in your own ways. Kohaku-san, you were always cheerful, while Hisui stayed in the mansion back then. Oh, did I look that cheerful? I thought I was always watching you all, though. Yeah, I remember. You would always run around with us, but you would tell us to stop doing dangerous things and look out for us. I really do remember. Playing tag in the courtyard of the mansion. Trying as hard as we could to catch my old man's carp in the pond. Hey, remember that time where we left the mansion from the gate, Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Hey, remember that time? The time where we left the mansion from the gate, right? We didn't know we didn't know the way to get back, and you ended up calling the mansion, and one of the mansion's servants had to pick us up. Yes, and after that, Makihisa-sama really did yell at you. Everyone was playing with you, but somehow you ended up being the only one. We did so many things, but in the end, you always saved Akiha-sama and me from getting in trouble. She giggles as she speaks aloud nostalgically. What's this? Talking about old times. I really feel like I've returned now. That's right. I really don't have too many memories of this mansion, but talking about old times honestly makes me feel nostalgic. But my memories aren't just happy ones. But I did treat Hisui poorly. That girl who was always in the corner of my heart. In the end, I was never able to have a true conversation with that girl by the window. That girl. She was always watching us from the window. Always, it struck me. That lonely face looking down. I always thought it would be great if she could come and play. But still, before I left the mansion, she gave me that one parting gift. That's right. She was always shy even then, so I never knew what she was thinking. I always thought that if Hisui-chan was happy, it wouldn't matter what happened to me. Oh? Oh, fuck, that's her talking. Oops. That's embarrassing. Usually the sprite changes whenever they have a dialogue, but, it didn't that time, so I wasn't sure. Okay. Whoops. Alright, from the top, I guess. That's right. She was always shy even then, so I never knew what she was thinking. I always thought if Hisui-chan was happy, it wouldn't matter what happened to me. Oh? Kohaku-san, you really are a good older sister. I'm feeling happy, so I give an answer like that. All of a sudden, with a short sound, Kohaku-san lifts her hand. I can see she cut her finger with the kitchen knife. Kohaku-san, your finger! Huh? After I say that, she seems to have realized that she cut her finger. Oh, that's true. That's true. Hey, Kohaku-san! I don't believe this. Even though I could see that even though I could see that the cut is really deep, Kohaku-san is still slow-paced. How embarrassing. I'm supposed to be such a good chef. Kohaku-san gives her normal laugh. This is no laughing matter. We have to take care of this right away. It's fine. It isn't life-threatening or anything. But doesn't it hurt? It's cut pretty bad. No, not at all. If I think it doesn't hurt, then it won't hurt. If I think it isn't my finger, and that it's just the finger of some doll, well, then it won't feel pain, right? What? With a smile, Kohaku-san says something really outlandish. Well, I'm sure if you think that way, it won't hurt as much. But you can't get rid of it all. Look, let's just get it taken care of. I'm a little weak when it comes to blood, so if I have an anemic fit right here, it'll be your fault, Kohaku-san. I see. Well, then I should take care of it right away. Well then, Shiki-san, excuse me for a moment. Yeah, I was thinking that too as I read that line. I wonder if that was as detailed as it was in the Hisui route, because she quotes her doll thing here. Did she do that last time and I just didn't know? Well, I probably, yeah. The whole time her smile never cracks, and giving me a bow with her head, she leaves the kitchen. Excuse me. It was the same? Probably. Well then, A toast to Shiki-san's homecoming. Everyone, please take whatever you would like to drink. Kohaku-san lines up the drinks in front of us, with a full smile entirely free of malice. Most of the drinks didn't happen to be juice or anything like that, but proper alcoholic beverages. Akiha? What is it, Nissan? There's a gurgling as Akiha fills her glass with a tawny liquid, then adds a little orange juice. That wouldn't be whiskey, would it? It would. Is there something wrong? It would? Akiha? Aren't we a little too young to be drinking? This is your welcoming party. If we don't have alcohol, we have to have alcohol, don't we? Or, Nissan, you're weak when it comes to alcohol? Akiha seems somehow delighted. Oh, Hisui-chan. That's unusual. Not juice today? Seeming a little shy, Hisui silently pours wine into her glass. See, Nissan? Even Hisui is drinking. Surely you don't intend to be the only one drinking juice. Jeez. You really want to get the most out of this party, don't you, Akiha? Yes. I don't usually like parties, but today is an exception. Huh. Well, it can't be helped. A lot of alcohol isn't good for my body, but a little bit should be okay. The weakest drink laid out on the table is, well, the wine, it looks like. Well then, everyone raise your glasses, please. Cheers! With a clash, our glasses come together. Kohaku tosses hers down in a single gulp. Akiha takes her time, and Hisui sips hers quietly. Oh man, I'm not responsible for this. The drinking continues. I don't know how this happened, but it looks like the Tohno Shiki welcome party has turned into just a drinking party. Akiha might be used to drinking, as she gulps down her glass as if she's drinking water. Kohaku-san slowly drinks with Akiha, while refilling Akiha's cup. Seeing that their faces still look normal, I'm guessing they don't show drunkenness on their faces. Incidentally, Hisui sits on the couch dizzily after drinking just one sip. Akiha really has quite a lot of tolerance. Looking at the smiling Akiha and Kohaku-san, I gulp down my glass. It's just water, as I only drank a mouthful of alcohol during the toast. I take a bite of the smoked salmon on the table. It's exquisite. The Tohno house, even the snacks, in the Tohno house, even the snacks are first class. Even though there might be a lot of problems, it's pretty enjoyable right now. To be blunt, Akiha and Kohaku-san's conversation is outright boring. It's as if they were just discussing how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Despite that, it all seems rather charming, seeing them laugh at those kinds of conversations. On the other hand, Hisui is holding the glass she used during the toast and gazing vacantly. Whenever I look away from Hisui, the glass becomes a little more empty. She seems to be enjoying herself too. I sneak another bite of food. I'm pretty weak against alcohol, so I prefer to eat the finger food instead. And... what happened? Akiha stands up and walks over to me. Nissan, you've only been eating. You aren't going to drink any? Akiha looks at me a little dissatisfied. I think that's him talking. Now look, I don't care if you get drunk, but you shouldn't try to make others drink at your pace. I'm not used to drinking a lot, so if you want to drink with someone, Kohaku-san can... I try to point over to Kohaku-san, but she isn't there. It seems like she went to get some more alcohol from the kitchen. Oh shit. Well, excuse me. I'm not the slightest bit drunk. Raising her glass with one hand, Akiha leans forward. I see. Well, since Kohaku-san isn't here, I guess she's messing with me since she has no one to talk to. Kohaku doesn't have anything to do with this. We're talking about why you are not drinking. Well, I have been drinking. That's a lie. I haven't had a chance to pour you anything. I was drinking so that you could relax, but all you've been doing is munching away at the food Kohaku made. You haven't even had one glass, right? Akiha pouts. Is it just me? Is her step a little unsteady? Akiha, I just have to ask. Are you drunk? Don't be ridiculous. I'm not drunk at all. You'll be dead drunk long before I will. You are dead drunk. Hurry up and finish your glass. I will listen to whatever you have to say when you're done. She points commandingly at my glass, except her finger is wobbling all over. Akiha, I've said this before, but you really are drunk. Sheesh! You really are persistent. I told you I'm not drunk. Akiha yells and wobbles back. Her own voice causes her to get dizzy. So what part of that isn't being drunk? Oh well. Have a seat. We can chat a bit, I suppose. I pat the sofa next to me. Yes, I'll sit. Akiha sits down on the sofa. I don't know where all this bossiness disappeared to, but she just meekly sits down. For some reason, I suddenly don't feel comfortable. Resigned, I pick up my glass. I take a slight gulp. The unfamiliar alcohol burns my throat. It doesn't taste good at all. I feel the ground dip beneath me, as if I was feeling dizzy from my anemia. But I can't say this feels bad either. I might as well just finish it off, so I down the rest of it. I'm surprised. You may have said differently before, but you sure seem to like drinking, Nii-san. What do you mean? I'm not a big drinker or anything. It doesn't look like it. You were drinking that rather happily. Akiha leans over and takes a bottle from the table. I'll water it down, but do you have any other preferences? Akiha pours me some whiskey without asking. How you say Nii-san will always get me. Common sense demands that I stop her, but she seems so happy. I throw aside any thoughts of common sense. Please water it down a lot. Otherwise, I won't be able to drink it. As you say. Well then, let's start, shall we? Akiha happily fills my glass. Man, I don't even drink this much when I'm with Arihiko. I lean back on the sofa. I down the glass with my neck tilted so far back I can see the ceiling. I drink what Akiha poured me slowly, without letting my mouth go from the glass. Phew. Well, are you satisfied, princess? I place the empty glass on the table. That's the way to do it. I have to take points off for not drinking it fast, but it's still a passing grade. You're pretty strict. That was my new record, you know. You told me to drink it, so I pushed myself. Really? This is pretty rare, you keeping me company like this, Nii-san. She chuckles. Pouring herself another glass, she downs it. My heart beats loudly at the sight of her face. She looks so mature when she's drinking. She closes her eyes and tilts her head back. Seeing her white throat voluptuously gulp down the alcohol, I forget about being drunk. Akiha lets out a deep breath. The glass is empty. She says under her breath something to the effect that is delicious. What is it, Nissan? Is there something on my face? Nothing. It's nothing. Without thinking, I pick up my glass. Another one? This time, we'll have something a little bit stronger. Akiha fills up the glasses again. I didn't really want another glass, but I suppose it won't hurt. Trying to imitate Akiha, I drink it all in one gulp. It wasn't that much alcohol, but I shouldn't have drank it that fast. My head starts to spin and I fall back on the sofa. Nissan? Are you alright? I'm fine. I just got a little dizzy, but I'm not drunk. I think I'll rest for a little bit. You go ahead and have fun. Laying back on the sofa, I stare aimlessly at the ceiling. Even though I feel completely drained, I feel incredibly good. I'm sorry. I forced you to drink too much. Akiha's voice sounds very sad. No. Maybe it was a little much, but it feels good. I drank it because you drank it so deliciously. I guess the result is alright enough. So, go ahead and keep drinking. Once I settle down, I'll join you again. Okay. If you say so. I will wait until you're done. I hear the sound of something pouring. As expected, she pours another glass and drinks it. That's odd. This isn't anything much, but I feel incredibly relaxed here. Is this just Akiha's route now? Akiha's just like, my route. Get fucked, Kohaku. Alright. Taking a breath, I get up from the sofa. Nissan? Are you feeling better? I'm fine. I'll keep you company a little bit more. I give her my glass. Smiling, she pours me another drink. This time, I decide to drink at my own pace. Time passes by. Hisui has fallen asleep on the sofa. Kohaku-san never did come back from the kitchen. The only ones still moving about are me and Akiha, but I'm pretty drunk, so I wouldn't necessarily call myself moving about. But still, I want to keep Akiha company until Kohaku-san returns. this sprite again. Nissan, you're very kind today. Akiha says this suddenly, in a small voice. Kind? Me? Yes. Normally, you're a very cold person. Acting kind like this is very rare, isn't it? Really? I don't really know, but maybe I am cold. Oh, Nissan, you don't understand yourself very well. You're a very kind person, but at the same time, you're very cold. Because you make no distinction between people. You don't have anyone that you like the most, no matter if you hate them or like them. Nissan, you like and forgive everyone. But that's very cruel to the people who want to be closest to you. For you, everyone is the same. Me, Kohaku, Hisui, we're all the same for you. That isn't kindness. Like an old dog that knows its time of death is near. You simply don't want to leave anything behind. You were like that back then, but now, how do you say it? You seem very dangerous, and it makes me uneasy. Downcast, Akiha continues to speak, almost as if she was thinking aloud. Her glass is empty. She doesn't fill it, and her quiet voice echoes in the air. Is that her talking still? Okay. Hey, I just thought that you were maybe inconsiderate and very lonely. I was just thinking something stupid like that. There isn't anyone you hold dearest in your heart. Maybe you lost that person a long time ago. Back then, I thought that if you just liked me, that would be fine. At least there wasn't anyone that you liked the most, so that was good enough. But now, it is... Thank you for waiting! More food and more drink! With a smile, Kohaku-san returns. Akiha suddenly swallows her words, and with a sigh, pours herself some more to drink. Hey, Nissan, please drink some more as well. It's just me drinking now. Taking the bottle that Kohaku-san brought, she pours some more drink into my glass. No, I've had enough. I've had twice as much as normal, so let me pass on this one. If I do drink more, I really will end up in bad shape. What are you saying? You haven't even had a bottle yet. It's way too early to say you've had enough. You said you'd drink with me, right? Come on, she says, and holds out my glass. But I really am at my limit. Now, Akiha-sama. You do have to realize that Shiki-san does not have the same tolerance as you do, Akiha-sama. Shiki-san, you should say no or you'll be in trouble. Akiha-sama doesn't get drunk no matter how much she drinks, so if you keep drinking with her until she's happy, you'll end up drinking till dawn. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I must be hearing things. I thought I heard somebody knock on my door. Wait a minute, Kohaku. You make me sound like some sort of alcoholic. Angrily, Akiha takes another drink. Even though she drank a lot, it seems like that's her first glass. No matter what Akiha says, Kohaku-san seems to be right. Sorry, Akiha. I really have to stop now. You know my doctor says I shouldn't drink too much, right? Akiha descends into an apologetic silence. That is true. Don't look so sad. I can still keep you company until you're done drinking. How's that? She nods, but she doesn't quite look satisfied. Well then, I'll pour your drinks, Akiha-sama. See, Shiki-san is still here, so isn't everything okay, Akiha-sama? I guess. Certainly having Nissan keeping me company is rare enough. I will let it go this time. Akiha holds out her glass to Kohaku-san. Smiling, Kohaku-san serves Akiha another drink, who starts to sip it slowly. It's gotten pretty late. Hisui woke up eventually, and we talked about unimportant things. It's probably the fault of the alcohol, but I don't remember what we talked about at all. Just meaningless, warm conversation. Because I wasn't used to that kind of stuff, I settled into an insecure comfort, like hanging from a silken thread. It's probably because of that. On one hand, I thought it would be nice for this to continue, but on the other hand, I wanted a little time to myself. And all of a sudden... Nissan? Akiha, with eyes full of anxiety, looks up at me. What is it? Are you feeling okay, Akiha? No, that's not it. I just got uneasy all of a sudden. Hey, Nissan, you won't go away again, will you? No. I don't know what'll happen in the future, but I've decided to stay here for now. At least until I finish school, and until it seems that Akiha can manage by herself. But that would imply that I would leave sometime. Stop. I don't want to hear those words. This is your house, so no matter what happens, it's best for you to live here, right? After saying this, she downs her glass. An amazing sight. As if drinking down her uneasiness, she empties her glass. Gulp, gulp. Her cheeks are faintly flushed, showing that she has a buzz. Akiha sighs. Why do you make me always feel so uneasy, Nissan? She must be drunk, as she stares at me blankly. Seeing that, my heart starts to beat faster for no reason. Are you listening? As long as you're here, I'm fine, but you always... Her eyes look straight ahead. Her cheeks are red and her eyes are glazed. This all seems very erotic. Hey, bro. Hey, oh. Hey, oh. It's your fucking sister, bro. Relax. Hey, oh. Hey. Oh. Hey. Let's all calm down. Oh. Hey. Maybe it's because I'm drunk as well. She is my sister, so why? Akiha. Nissan. I feel strange. She speaks aimlessly, as if she was someone else. If this keeps up, Akiha-sama, your glass is empty. I'll pour you some more, okay? Yeah. Thanks, Kohaku. Kohaku-san pours her another drink, which she downs promptly. And then, all of a sudden, Akiha looks very serious. Akiha? That's odd. I seem to be drunk. She massages her temple with her fingers. Seem to be drunk? You've been drunk for quite a while. What are you saying? I'm drunk, so of course I won't make sense. She places her glass on the table quickly. That's strange. I just got started. Saying that, she collapses toward me. Hey, Akiha! What are you... It's pretty obvious, though. Hey... There's no response. Her breathing tells me that she's happily asleep. Huh? This is rare indeed. I have not seen Akiha drunk in years. Kohaku-san smiles amusedly. Kohaku-san, what do you mean? Well, Akiha-sama usually does not get drunk. But when she drinks over a certain limit, I guess all the alcohol hits her and she falls asleep. So for Akiha-sama, being drunk is the same as going to sleep. I don't know if that's good or bad, but if Akiha-sama got drunk like most people, wouldn't that be scary? Shiki-san, could you imagine a rampaging Akiha-sama? Kohaku-san paints a very frightening mental image. And deciding not to answer, I look at Akiha's sleeping face. Akiha is sleeping contentedly. She's leaning with her whole body up against mine. I can feel her breathing and her body warmth. I remember that strange feeling I felt before. She must have been completely drunk, because she seemed like a totally different person. I can't deny that I was utterly flustered. Having her sleep so contentedly against me puts me in a daze. Without a doubt, she is very beautiful. I couldn't believe she was my sister when I met her after 8 years. But that doesn't mean anything. All I can think is that looking at her resting up against me is a good thing. Without a doubt, she is my sister. One of the reasons I came back to the Tohno mansion was to protect Akiha. Shiki-sama, if Akiha-sama sleeps like that, I believe she might catch a cold. Oh, that's right. It is October, so we shouldn't let our guard down. Doesn't the mansion have heating? I will take Akiha-sama up to her room. Hisui hoists Akiha over her shoulder and exits the room. The only ones left are me and Kohaku-san. Well, if Akiha-sama is asleep, then we should end this party. I will take care of everything tidying things up, so please return to your room, Shiki-san. I nod. I really want to help, but I'm a little too drunk for that. If I helped in this condition, I'd probably just get in the way. Sorry, Kohaku-san. Please take care of things. Just leave it to me, please. Good night, Shiki-san. I go out to the courtyard to clear my head of some of the alcohol. The breeze is a little cool, so it feels good against my hot skin. This is bad. I really did drink too much. All that drinking gave me a headache, and I start to feel a little dizzy. I'll probably have some nightmares tonight. Well, that's just something I have to face after drinking. Akiha seemed really happy tonight. 1 or 2 nightmares is a small price to pay for that. Sitting down on a chair, I take a deep breath. The night breeze blows against my skin. There's nothing but silence. All the other houses are far from the Tohno mansion. Doing this, I feel like I'm in a mansion in the middle of the woods, and I almost forget that I'm a normal student. An empty, weak atmosphere. A soundless scenery of stagnation. The small fragment of memory about a garden. There's no one there. No father to yell at us. No one to tie us down and lock us away. Or even that person who curses Tohnoshiki. A long time ago, it all wore away, declining into something worthless. Thinking about these rambling ideas, my eyelids start to droop more and more. Shiki-san, if you sleep there, you'll catch a cold. And that voice jars me from my sleepiness. I'm sorry, Shiki-san. I guess it would have been better if you didn't drink anything tonight. Kohaku-san says this with her usual smile, looking at me. It seems that Kohaku-san must have guessed that I came here to cool off. I guess I got a little carried away. Oh, I'm sorry, that's her talking. I guess I got a little carried away. Not thinking about your health. I forced you to do too much. It was very tough, wasn't it? Kohaku-san apologetically keeps her distance. What is this? This doesn't seem like the normal, cheery Kohaku-san. It was my decision to drink, so she shouldn't feel bad about it. Jeez. This isn't like you at all, Kohaku-san. I look down at Kohaku-san, but she's still looking apologetic, so I sleepily gaze into the forest. It wasn't tough at all. Akiha was so happy, and it was fun. Kohaku-san, you're just thinking about it too much. Staring blankly into the forest, I try to make my voice sound as gentle as possible. A brief silence ensues. Suddenly, like a rabbit poking its head out of a bush, Kohaku-san comes into view. Kohaku-san? Oh, so you are awake, Shiki-san. You got quiet all of a sudden. I thought you fell asleep. She says this, scolding me. It sounds like she wants to tell me that I shouldn't sleep here. I'm fine, Kohaku-san. I'm awake, so don't worry. I'll go back to my room once I'm done cooling off, so you can go back inside. I refuse. I wanted to cool off as well, so I'll keep you company until you're done. With her usual smile, Kohaku-san looks longingly at the fallen leaves in the forest. Well, if you feel like that, then that's fine, Kohaku-san. Kohaku-san doesn't answer, and she walks over the leaves, which crinkle as she takes each step. Silence ensues again. Thanks, Kohaku-san. It was really fun today. I really do mean it. What do you mean? Today wasn't something you should thank us for. Maybe. But it really was fun. Come to think of it, it was the first time we really did something like that. And I finally felt like part of the family. It isn't like we didn't do things like that when I stayed at the Arimas. It's just that when I lived there, I didn't ever want to be a bother, and I couldn't concentrate on having fun like today. Family? Tilting her head to the side, she asks in a soft voice. For a very brief instant, it looked like Kohaku-san removed her usual mask, but she returns to her usual self. But Shiki-san, as long as you stay in the mansion, you won't ever have the family that you're dreaming about. All your relatives shun you, and your only ally is Akiha-sama. That means your life here will be very painful. What she says is correct. 8 years ago, I was treated badly enough to get me out of this house, so it's natural that they still think badly of me. Well, I'm prepared for that. But it doesn't really matter. Akiha put up with it for 8 years. I'm her big brother, so I shouldn't be able to put up with it that easily. Or, I'm sorry, so I should be able to put up with it easily is what I meant to say. Those 8 years. Since she was little, Akiha had to endure a very strict upbringing. Compared to that, my relatives disliking me isn't that much. I see. Akiha-sama is really lucky, having a brother that thinks so much of her. I don't know. I don't think I'm a good brother to Akiha. Still smiling, she continues to giggle. Seeing her laugh so much makes me feel a little embarrassed. But that is strange, thinking only of Akiha-sama, and not thinking of yourself like that. Huh? You too have led a bad life. Being disinherited and sent away. There had to have been some hard times for you too. And when you finally start to really get along with the Arima family, you come back here. You were made to live a normal family that You were made to leave a normal family that suited you the most, due to a mere whim of the Tohno house. Oh boy, starting to fall apart right at the end. I don't even know how to respond. That morning 3 days ago, I remember the face of Keiko-san standing in the doorway as we parted. I didn't want to see that always steadfast person smile so sadly. Like Kohaku-san's stead, I left a big part of me behind that was so attached to them when I left. See, Shiki-san? Don't tell me you've never thought of that. No. That's something I shouldn't think about. Kohaku-san, why are you... I wanted to ask her why she was bringing all of this up now. I wanted Kohaku-san, Akiha and Hisui to think that I came back here because I wanted to. Shiki-san. I hear her voice. I can't ignore her voice, so I look up. You know it too. You would have been happier staying with the Arima family. That. But why is she... Why? Why did you come back to the mansion now, when there's only unhappiness waiting for you here? Why is she saying that, with that almost crying face? I can't answer. I just stare at Kohaku-san, as if I was in some sort of trance. You're mean, asking me to talk about such difficult things. I'm sorry. I guess I must be drunk as well, saying such things. There must be something wrong with me. She's smiling like that. It makes it seem like she didn't even ask me something serious. Kohaku-san, about that subject earlier, isn't it natural for me to want to come back to my own home? I couldn't leave Akiha all alone, and I couldn't burden the Arimas forever. So, that's your reason for coming back? Kohaku-san seems like she understands. But that's a lie. There's another reason. Something more important than Akiha. Shiki-san? What is it? Oh, it's different, Kohaku-san. Really, there's another important reason. Really? Does that mean it's a secret? I don't know. It isn't that it's a secret, but it's an important memory. It's an important memory I have, and I don't want to talk about. I borrowed something when I left here, so I came back to return it. Uh-oh. But it seems like Hisui doesn't remember it, though. I get up from the chair. I've cooled down, so I'm going back to my room. Raising a hand, I exit the courtyard. Aww. That's so sad. He's so close. Kohaku-san just looks at me, dumbstruck. I collapse on the bed. It's probably the fault of the alcohol, as I start to feel very sleepy. It's probably because I said those words to Kohaku-san. I start to think about the promise I made 8 years ago. You can never come back to this mansion ever again. I still remember the time when my father said those words to me, and my feelings as I left my room. That time when I realized I should be all alone, that I would be all alone, just like I was before I met Sensei. Not being able to keep my promise with Sensei. I guess I became empty inside. That time, the girl I spoke with only once, that was my only saving grace. I don't know what kind of magic was in those words. Give it back, okay? Just those words. But to me, those words meant so much back then. I always thought those words were important. Well, it seems Hisui forgot she ever said them, though. Oh well, it can't be helped. It was just a promise we made as kids. It's a shame, but it really can't be helped. 8 years is a long time. Actually, remembering a promise from your childhood is stranger than forgetting it, I suppose. Well, I should sleep. Taking a deep breath, I close my eyes. I sink into a deep sleep. I feel the heat and my body awakes. Roasting. My throat is burning. My blood is evaporating. The roasting must be leaving scars all over. Roasting. I can't think clearly. I feel the dirty presence of someone else in my room. Burning. I decide to leave my room. The clock says it's past midnight. The burning won't stop. Confusion. Thump thump. My heart pounds. Sexual excitement. The whole world pulsates in unison. Delusion. Burning. Crimson. Fuel tube. Exploding. Multiplying. The black wings of insects. It's as if my eyes, blood of mad desire, have a pulse. Type. Different death. I enter the darkness. My exploding heart scourges me forward. More and more. Thump thump. The beating that makes my existence pale in comparison. My heart doubles, burning my single body with their fierce pulsation. Now, time to fulfill her wish. And then, there were the corpses of strangers in front of me. 1, 2, 3 people. I count aloud. I point out each one with my finger. My red finger. No. Both of my hands seem painted red. Of course, there isn't any paint anywhere around me. The only thing that's here is the flayed spaghetti, with meat sauce, of course, of 3 dead bodies. On the ground is my knife, engraved Nanatsu Yoru. This means it doesn't even require thought. I did this. I pick up my knife. I can't believe it. But what's done is done. Now that I realize it, my once burning body has cooled down. Now that I'm done, I should go back to the mansion. Someone's coming. Someone comes down the pathway. Great. This place is already overflowing with spaghetti, and now I have to make some more meat sauce on top of that. The footsteps approach. The dark shadow becomes a little clearer. I grip my knife. The shadow enters the alley. The sound of metal clashing. I can't believe it. Without any indication at all, the shadow totally intercepted my attack. The enemy also uses a knife. Our attacks cancel each other's fatal strikes at the throat. That's surprising. Our voices overlap in the darkness. We both put away our knives at the same time. I didn't expect to see my kind after coming back. It's my first time seeing a killer. He laughs as he says this. A pure laugh, without any bad intentions. It's like the laugh of a boxer that finally cut weight and steps into the ring to face his greatest lifetime rival. Probably, I have the same smile on my face. He snorts as he turns around. We walk out to the main street. This looks like a good spot. It's a bit odd for 2 grown men to be standing out, isn't it? I sit down on the sidewalk. As if he just thought of something. He keeps walking to the vending machine. Hey, give me some money. I don't have any. I'm not exactly rich right now, but I give him the biggest coin I have. I always wanted to try this. He says this happily and buys 2 cans of coffee. Catch. All right. I get the change and a can of coffee. He sits by my side and takes a drink out of the can. For some reason, I think this is all I've been doing all day. Ugh. I don't think cigarettes and coffee are that great. I wonder why adults even drink these things. They're training their endurance. Being an adult is pretty hard work. Oh, I see. You're pretty smart. He chuckles, delighted. I take a drink as well. I can't help but agree with him. They must be awfully suicidal, wanting to drink something that tastes like poison. Well, anyway, you're a pretty awful guy. How could you just suddenly strike at someone's throat like that? You're one to talk. You were trying to kill me, too. Is that so? Well, what's done is done. We're both alive, so we'll call it even. Well, he's right. We both tried to kill each other, so even if one of us died, we'd still be even. As a competition, that sounds right. Even though he keeps saying it's disgusting, he keeps happily drinking the coffee. Well, this isn't bad once you get used to it. This feels like a get-together of bad boys kicked out of society. He says so, killing a smile. Really? Well, you want to smoke? We'd look more like the bad boys this way. I'll pass. They numb the brain. If you want to remain pure, you shouldn't take any poison. So says the guy drinking coffee. What's with you? You're pretty nitpicky for a killer. Humans eat poison every day, so is this all right? You have some tolerance against it too, right? He laughs loudly. I feel the same way, so I take another sip. Oh, what's up, CFX? I speak with him for another hour. We ramble about nothing as we watch cars go by. The most pointless thing was probably our special powers. My eyes that can see death. His body that dies with great difficulty. We began by discussing their principles. I see. Well, does that mean you can kill the 5 senses? He says such nonsense. I can't do that. I can't kill something so vague that needs an expression to be understood. Not at all. Look, if you wanted to kill sight, kill the eyes. Hearing, kill the ears. I can do at least that much. But you're different. You can kill things without crushing them. The moment you see those lines, you can kill. Not the object, but its very meaning. That's why something beyond the 5 senses, like the 6th sense, spirit and emotion, you should be able to kill those things too. Well, he has a point. My eyes themselves are an aberration. Using logic to understand them is a mistake from the start. Then I can kill that too? That apparition that I saw once in my childhood. That haunting thing called Crimson Red Vermilion. But that seems hard. If I do that, I don't know how much longer I could stay sane. Yeah, it's like trying to calculate as a god using the mind of a human. You'd cripple yourself for sure. He says this as he walks toward the vending machine again. Hey! Still looking at the vending machine, he holds his hand behind him toward me. I toss him a coin, which he catches skillfully and uses to buy another can of coffee. After drinking this, he turns to me again. It really has been a long time since I talked to another person. That's really weird. That's strange. You were stranded on an island somewhere? Huh? I'm still stranded on this island. It seems I'm out of alignment with society. They say someone who kills people for no reason is just crazy. There's really no way someone like me, who's out of tune, could have a conversation with someone in tune. Huh. So we're out of tune? Yeah. It's not a matter of who's off tune. Those out of tune with society are the ones out of... Those out of tune with society are the ones out of tune. Really? Maybe society's the one that's out of tune instead. What do you mean by that? Exactly what I said. Didn't you say that just now? It's like majority rule. The views of the majority that aren't the same as the views of the majority. I'm sorry, the views of the minority that aren't the same as the views of the majority are said to be unsuitable and rejected. It doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong. If you don't fit in, you're left out, regardless if you're right or wrong. The term out of tune doesn't follow universal rules. So you're trying to say that killers are... Are you trying to say that killers like us just aren't, Are you trying to say that killers like us aren't evil? Who knows? I don't know about good or evil. But if you think about it logically, we aren't the ones out of tune. Let's see. How about using boxers as an example? It doesn't have to be boxers, but it's an easy example to understand. I was thinking that, like, that sounded like a YouTuber. Boxers. Their job is to punch people. But not just to punch people. They painfully cut weight and train every day to skillfully punch people. To effectively punch others. To efficiently defeat others. They diligently work on it every day, like sharpening a blade. What do you think of that? Huh. There are people like that. And... no, that's not all. They just punch each other, but they don't kill their opponents. Sure, some could die from accidents, but it isn't considered murder. Isn't that incredible? You mean it's okay to kill? No. You aren't supposed to kill, but you could. Isn't that a huge contradiction? That's not all. Because a boxer's fist is considered a weapon, they aren't allowed to fight outside the ring. This is incredible. They know a boxer's fist is a weapon, so why is there a profession like that in the first place? If it's a weapon that can kill, well, they should abolish it. Killing is wrong. Killing is wrong. But this world is full of tools to kill. Even the law allows it. But they say it's not alright to kill. This can only be considered chaos. If common sense is what thought of as good by a majority of people, well, then we aren't out of tune. If there's anything out of tune, it's this world. All that said, I don't necessarily hate boxing. There are a lot of professions out there, but there aren't any others where you can just be so stoic about your objectives. You strengthen yourself by cutting yourself off from all temptations. Humans are interested in strength they can easily comprehend. That's why competitions will never go away. Of all these competitions, the ones people like the most are where the contestants hurt each other. Admiration of the strong. A mindset that can only be drawn towards strength. That's probably a very healthy mind. As guys like him, I can only think of results. As guys like him and I can only think of results, our colors might be similar, but our shapes should be completely different. Something you can concentrate on and forget yourself. That doesn't become an individual's free will. Those that worship education, those who immolate themselves in art, those who advance themselves in business. If an individual could decide that, then this world would be a pretty puzzle that could be understood. But this puzzle's full of holes. Pieces are missing, and a lot of pieces don't fit. I see. You like to talk a lot, don't you? I had a friend like that once. How do I say this? Well, he didn't have anything, which is why he looked like he didn't want anything. To me, he seemed very isolated. Isolation is just another name for loneliness, right? That's why it bugged me. Didn't want anything. What about you? Is there something that you want? I don't know. I think I used to, but I can't remember now. What about you? Everyone wants something, but I haven't found anything worth dreaming for. A fire within me that caused me to lose my mind. Tonight was maybe my first time feeling that. That means you're a killer too. I don't know. I can't be sure yet. What about you? Is killing fun? Are you stupid? If it was fun, I'd be doing it non-stop. There isn't any reason. Once you start, you just get hooked. I see. I think I understand a little bit. In other words, it's not a matter of liking or disliking the murder. It's a matter of when he does kill someone, whether he can devote himself to that action. It's probably the difference between being in or out of tune. Hey, did you ever take apart a radio when you were a kid? Radio? I never killed anyone like that. Right, thanks for being a moron. To be honest, that was a joke. Animate objects and inanimate objects are completely different. Maybe people like us should be doctors instead. A doctor? I hate medicine. When you get a shot, you don't feel yourself getting diluted. I'm sorry, don't you feel yourself getting diluted? It's like you're becoming a puppet, right? Is that so? I have my own doctor, so I take medicine like it was nothing. Oh, it really was a lot of fun. He stands up, and with empty eyes, he looks down at me. Well, we don't need two of us in this town, right? Two lions in a cage this small won't even be able to mark their own territory. He looks like he's going for his knife. The inorganic reek of murder. He really does want to fight to the death. You shouldn't. I say quite naturally. Why? Well, as a living creature, you're stronger than me. But if it's a fight to the death, I'm superior to you. He grinds his teeth. After a twitching smile, he laughs extremely loudly. What? Was it that funny, killer? The man continues to laugh. Just when I thought I'd have to leave him, he stops laughing and looks at me. You're right, you know. Saying that, he starts to walk away. I guess this is a good opportunity. Now that someone like you is here, I should probably leave town. I don't really intend to take your place. No, it's useless. You got hooked tonight, right? Then it'll be the same tomorrow. You won't be able to endure, even for a day. Well, I hope we won't meet again. Raising a hand, he disappears. Hearing that we wouldn't meet again, I get a little sad. At my feet, there are about 10 cans of coffee that he drank. In other words, he'll never pay me back for these. I make it back to my room. It's almost dawn. I should forget everything and go to sleep. What the fuck was that? That was so confusing. Shiki and Shiki? Meaning in this route, Shiki. Okay. I was thinking about that because he's had that dream like, what, 3 or 4 times now? And every time it's always like, oh, don't worry, you're not actually a vampire, relax. Or you're not a killer or whatever. But I guess he actually is doing it in this route. He actually is killing people. Is that what we're meant to believe? And I guess the other guy had to have been Shiki. I wasn't sure who it was the entire time, so I didn't really give them a unique voice in case it was like, I don't know, another fucking voice in Shiki's head or some shit. But he did mention like his body regenerates. So I guess the only person that could have been at this point is capital S Shiki, right? I guess what we learned in the Hisui route is that Shiki, capital S Shiki, has never met lowercase Shiki, so he doesn't know what Tohno Shiki or Nanaya Shiki looks like. So he probably just met, as far as he concerned, he just met some guy. Um, if that's what was going on, maybe Kohaku got pissed when he said ribbon and he was possibly. Um, if that's what was going on, I'm a little disappointed that that was played up like it was a dream sequence, because it would have been interesting to see unique sprites of capital S Shiki being like more friendly and accommodating, because they kind of hinted that like he could have been kind of like that if things were different in the previous route. Not exactly, but kind of, right? If he wasn't a vampire, if he didn't have this Tohno blood shit, if he didn't go feral, then he could have been like a normal person. And they used to be friends when they were kids, right? So, the end's on a budget. Yeah, it is what it is. um, yeah. So we're gonna stop for now. Um, I'm glad that I covered a decent bit, and we finally got to some more interesting, unique stuff. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. If you were watching the stream, Inu, CFX, Eddie, thank you for being in the chat. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more VODs and more videos. Follow me on twitch.tv/BerserkChip. That's BerserkChip with 2 P's because I forgot the password to my previous account. Follow me on Twitter for fighting game stuff and more stream highlights. I actually made a bunch 2 nights ago, and I was going to post them last night, but I forgot. So I have a bunch of those coming, and the VOD will be ready by tonight probably, of the previous part, and then also this one. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Okay.